Hello, here's the project for Chapter 5. My name is Jazz, y'all know that. So mine was 5.10, which is Messiaen's Amen du Desir. Measures 97 through 107, and I picked the recording on YouTube that has the score scrolling on it. If you also pick that one, if you just type in Messiaen Amen du Desir, it should be one of the first ones, if not the first one that shows up. So I'm going to trust you guys to be tech savvy on this one, and unless I already posted in like the comments or something. So, but with that one, the timestamp is about 23:37. If you want to follow along, this is on page 289 and 290. And yeah, if listening to the piece is important to you, you might want to pause now so that way you can go do that, and we're just going to jump in. So my first question, well, I'll read the program notes first, since for some reason Mr. Strauss put them in here. So yeah. Also, if I keep looking over here instead of here, it's because I got two separate cameras and I'm just used to looking at the one on my laptop, so that's how it goes. But the composer's notes is the visions de la Mine were conceived. This is the it was the larger title of the piece, the collection of pieces. Were conceived and written for two pianos, demanding from these instruments the maximum power and variety of sounds. I gave Piano 1 rhythmic difficulties, clusters of chords, and everything having to do with speed, charm, and quality of sound. I gave Piano 2 the main melody, the thematic elements, and everything having to do with emotion and power. For graphic reasons, Piano 2 is sometimes written above Piano 1. It goes on to talk some more. Involves two aspects. The Amen du Desir involves two aspects of desire. The first is slow, ecstatic, aspiring to a profound tenderness. The second is extremely passionate. So, and the first question, it really has like 4 questions in them. So we're gonna break it down in a few parts. So yeah. Begin by identifying the discrete elements that can be found in this passage. We're going to run through that now. What is in the left hand of Piano 1? What is in the right hand of Piano 1? How do these compare to each other? So we're going to start with just, as you can tell written in red, just the Piano 1 part here. Basically, in the piece, he has Piano 1 oscillating between these 8 notes. Yeah. And what you need to know is that from F to D, so horizontally, they are in relation by a minor third, and from a vertical angle, the tops two, so voice 1, voice 2, voice 3, voice 1 and voice 3, are related by major second. Rhythmically, it's this isorhythmic pattern. So they're kind of these all independent groups from each other. But I noticed, as Messiaen tends to do, he didn't quite do an additive rhythm, but they are in and they are in relation to each other in a mathematical sense. So for the first bar, for instance, he has this dotted eighth or dotted quarter to like a slurred over eighth to 16th pattern. The preceding note is twice the length of the note that comes after it, which yeah. So, the other thing about isorhythmic, not only are they two independent rhythmic phrases that are happening at the same time, But it would take actual, like, years before they would line up again. These, like, they are two independent rhythms that will not align again for a very, very long time. So, I think that answers question 1. I'm going to pause the video and be right back with some scribblings for question 2. All right, the hours have passed, and so has my patience. So we're just gonna go straight into this. Basically, question 2 asks how, like, piano 2 has only major triads and dominant 7th chords. What are they? I'm going to see if I can find a pattern. So, probably not. We're just going to run down the list, and then I'm going to work some magic here. So, in order, it's an E major. A lot of these are 6/4 chords, so E major, C sharp major, and this is also the top line of the piano 2 part, starting on the second subject. So, we have E major, C sharp major, E major, C sharp, G, E flat, A, and then we have the same thing in measure 100 that we do in measure 103, so that's E, C sharp, G, and then it's, 1 second actually. All right, one more time, just for me. So, measure 100 in order: E major, C sharp, G, then E flat, A, E flat, E major, C sharp, G, E flat, A again, E flat, A flat, F, B, G, D flat, G, A flat, F, B, G, D flat, G. And while, like, a lot of these look, a lot of the, like, so, like, a lot of the measures that are rhythmically like measure 101 look like 7th chords. They're not. He just doubles the 5th, so it's nothing crazy. So, and then the bass line starts out with D diminished 7, D minor to, D diminished to D minor, then E flat major, D diminished to D minor, then E flat major. D diminished 7, D minor 7th. F sharp dominant, basically all the way through, it just revoices. In that, on the 3rd note, in that, to G, F dominant 7, to G. So, alright, I will be right back and see if there's, like, some weird pattern. Alright, so I did find something of note, and I'm going to teach you guys how I do things, because I need to visualize things a bit more than trying to make sense of this. Partially because my handwriting is awful. So, basically, this is a styrofoam plate because I'm secretly a 3-year-old. So, this is the first melody. Before, so this is the first melody from 100 to 104. And then, this is just what it looks like visually. But then if we rotate it, so that way A, this part that juts out, here, is at C sharp, then now it looks like the second melody. So really, the second melody is the same as the first one, just transposed by 4. So, don't know. I figured I'd share that just because, like, I think it's fun. So, all right. Now on to the last question, I think. 1 second. Okay, so I basically already answered the last question. The third, or second, but it has 2 actual parts to it, is what larger collections are formed from these elements? Can you describe the passage in terms of contrast and intersections among these larger collections? So, basically, I just did that. The first melody is, it starts as E to C sharp to G to E flat to A, or 4, 1, 7, 3, 9, and then it's transposed by 4 for the other melody. Oh no, my computer's about to die. 1 second.